I am back. My name is Arados12, and recently there was big news for Saberfront All-Terrain Assault and other games like it. The big news is this. Blasters for those games, All-Terrain Assault, the upcoming Undead Mandalore, and maybe some other games in the future, will now have filtering-enabled compatible blasters. Why is this an important message? Well, here's the deal. Recently, Roblox just announced that games that don't have filtering enabled will not be available for kids under 13 who play Roblox. Well, guess what? This game is not going to be one of those games. Because now that the blasters have been, let me say, updated to use FE-based technology, you don't have to worry about the game not being filtering enabled. Because now, if that's possible, then anything is possible. Now, what does this mean specifically? Blasters can now have blaster bolts that literally go through, or not go through, but they can literally appear on the screen when filtering enabled is on or off, and they can do damage. So let me show you exactly what I've done. This is enabled, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the exact gist of what I've done with a server. So any minute now, the server should be on. Hold it for 1 sec. Just waiting for the server to come up. There it is. Server is up and running. Now I'm just going to have to wait for the client. The client should be there in a minute. Okay. Client's about to be there, and there we go. Now this is a server, so as you can see, they've also added a part where it will show if you're either under 13 or 13 and older. Now I'm 19, I will be 20 this year, so technically it's supposed to be over 13. But since this is a server, you won't see that because the ID that comes out of this is -1. Now, here's what I'm about to show you in a minute. This is the E5, been updated to now use filter enabled. Now if you see me running on the screen of the server, that's because the animations and everything are synced up, as you can see. Now watch when I fire a bullet. Doesn't make cold yet, but it should have done that. There we go. It takes a while for it to load. The server events and stuff to be rendered and everything. So, as you can see, I'm making holes. And I can also do this. I can drop down, I can crawl. If you see me crawling, let me know in the chat so I can tell if this is working. Now watch when I reload. Same thing. Reloading is done. I can jump. Now I'm about to show you something else. Specifically, what I'm about to show you is the damage that this can do, even if filtering enabled is on. So I'm going to go over here, and then once I get close, tell me if I'm close enough. If I am, here we are. I'm aiming. Specifically, what I'm doing is I am aiming at the enemy. So let me just click OK real quick for this, and got him. For some reason that headshot must have been really good. And now I got an achievement. As you can see, this blaster can do a substantial amount of damage. Anyways, guys, that was basically what I showed you there. And tell me what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What can I do to improve it? Anything. So, another thing that's happening is there's going to be a special data server set up that will allow Saberfront games to be able to have secondary stats for players to use, such as regiment count, regiment attributes, also achievements, which helps to allow unlocks for blasters, especially advanced blasters, and even more. Now, here's the deal. If you have the achievement for a certain blaster, for example, like the A280 Advanced or the DC-17M Advanced, then you'll be able to get to use either the scopes or the many different modes of that blaster. The DC-17M has modes: sniper mode, rocket mode, and assault mode. The A280 has scopes, such as the EOTech, the Mars, I forgot what the other one was, Reflex Sight, I think, and the regular scope, and also the VCOG. Now, the next part about this that you will see is the forgot what it was, but I know there's another part to this. Like, there's going to be also a subclass in those stats, and that subclass, by the way, is basically what you have in terms of who you are as a part of that faction. For example, you could be on the Rebel Alliance or Rebels class and have a subclass of Advanced Recon Rebel, which means you'll get an Advanced A280 armor, specifically ARR armor. Or you could be a regular Rebel. Standard Rebels just have the Rebel helmet and the regular A280, which does not include grenades, or knives, or tactical grenades either. It also doesn't include the other mode where you can change scopes. But there are going to be other types of, well, not other types, but there are also going to be other stats that you have to consider. Such as, for example, you'll have regiment attributes. Now, regiment attributes determine how well your troops can perform in a battle or firefight. So, for example, they could be on an attack mission. Their strength has to be up. Well, not strength, but dexterity has to be up in order to be able to fire effectively at the enemy and get a good hit. Strength is not needed unless they're doing a melee action, such as swinging the blaster right at the enemy so they can knock them out. Now, another thing you want to note is the sniper. Snipers can do damage, but it's randomly determined. Also, another thing, in order for rebels to have hero status, their intelligence has to be at a certain point too. For example, if one rebel, for instance, has a regiment attribute of, for example, 10 or something like that, but their experience is high, then hey, that's what they have. But here's the deal though. Each rebel is also going to have their hero stats. They're going to be in an array. And that array is going to be held on the server. Basically, this is going to be hosting a lot of data. And I mean a lot of data. So I would suggest that if you want to play Saberfront in the future, or if you want to play the new map coming out, gotta manage your stuff right. Now I know you guys might be wondering, what am I talking about? Specifically, I'm talking about the future of Saberfront. Saberfront is no longer going to have just one map where you can actually just get to level 100 on. It's going to have many maps. If you're level 20 and you're a rebel soldier, for example, you'll be able to go to the new map, which is going to feature the city called Belle-Île, which was a cultural hub in Alderaan before it was destroyed. Yes, and it's surrounded by water, by the way. So there will be water, but it won't be like the terrain type of water. It will be the brick type. In other words, it'll just be a brick, C-framed right, that looks like water. Now another thing that you might want to notice is this. If you would look at the images on the Discord, if you're on the Discord, there's an admin panel that will be there. When you log into your account, if you have a Roblox user ID, you won't be able to do administrative tasks unless your account is made active in terms of administration. But you will be able to do other things, such as, for example, you will be able to view your regiment's attributes, you'll be able to view your hero stats, you'll be able to view everything about your army of troops and who you are in terms of what type of rebel or imperial you are. Basically what I'm saying is you'll be able to view the stats that relate to you, but the admins will be able to view like everything. One thing they won't be able to do after the API is set up and the script is set up is modify the values. Nor will you. Because those can only be done via API. And there has to be an access token in order for it to be able to be done. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I was going to do today. Just an update on that and the blasters. And yeah. So my name is Eros12, and I will see you next week. Cheers.